Joining us now for an analysis of President Tinubu's EO9 and the petroleum industry of Nigeria is Wumi Iledare. He's Emeritus Professor of Petroleum Economics and Principal Facilitator, FUPRE Energy Business School. Thank you very much for joining us on Newsnight.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you listened to the experts there,
yes.
Making a point, but should we lose sight of what this Executive Order 9 provides? Or should we focus more on what the president has done in coming up with this executive order? Some are saying he has done a good thing in a wrong way. He should have resorted to the National Assembly and not, do what some have described as executive overreach.
Well, thank you. I mean, the president can do what he wants to do at any time, and that's why he has the executive. That's why he's the executive president. Mm-hmm. But the issue is this: the law is in there, and let me give you an analogy of what concerns me. Mm-hmm. It's not politics.
Right.
It's a structural issue. You have provisions of the law, whether good or bad. You cannot use executive order to just override it. Mm-hmm. Because it is a personal power that is using, whereas the PIA has given institutional power. And so we are talking about sustainability of actions. Let's take them one by one, and then we'll just, because I want to answer you, because I want to ask opportunity to talk more. Let's look at the Frontier Exploration Fund. It's the law.
Right.
Is the law 30% put aside? Is it good or bad? That's not the issue, but that's the law. Second, 30% management fee for an NNPC Limited. That becomes part of their cash flow computation. Is it too high? That's not the debate, but that's the law. Third, the separation of role. Independent regulators to be apolitical. Now you want them to relate to a political appointed SAE. It may look good, but that's not the law. One of the purpose of PIA is the separation of roles. The regulators, the commercial, and the executive, which is the policy institution.
Right.
Now there's room for them to collaborate, but they don't report to each other. That's why the minister is not the chairman of any of the board of directors. But now you want an appointed executive officer, not confirmed by the Senate, to be in charge of people that are confirmed by the Senate. Those are the issues. Okay. Now the objective is one thing, but if there are structural deficiency, especially when you control the Senate and the House, I mean, if you can change the national anthem just like that, you get your people to go and look at the law. First, the 30% NNPC Limited management fee should not have been in the law.
In the first place.
Okay, great. Also, so, I mean, there's this argument, excuse me, also about Section 80 and Section 162 of the Constitution clashing with the PIA. When the PIA came into effect, this was hailed as almost the silver bullet for the oil and gas industry. So how did we get it wrong? Should the PIA not even have come into existence?
That's the drafting issue. And you have to ask the Minister of Justice then, who drafted it. The law, the Minister of Justice was in the room when every provision of the law is examined. Even if the law is faulty, changing it with an executive order sends a wrong signal. 20 years of uncertainty, we finally got it. And personal power is trying to override institutional power. I'm not debating the objective of the president with respect to enhancing revenue. We call it political economy of oil.
Right.
It's understandable. But the implication is beyond a political expectations. 2027, more revenue to the state, more revenue to local government, more revenue to to the federal government. Could that be the reason why there's this desire for more revenue? I don't know. But it's about the structure. It's about the PIA, which took us 20 years to put in place. It will take only 20 days with APC in charge of the House of Representatives and the Senate to amend it. Why not back the institutional power instead of personal power?
Well, the government has said, look, this order is an interim corrective measure with a permanent legislative framework to follow, that it will engender transparency, foreign investments and all of that in the oil sector. But beyond what you've made a point as to how it can actually help the economy, but what more can it really do for the economy, and how do you resolve what seems to be an error on the part of the government?
Well,
go back to the judiciary, or what exactly? How do you resolve this?
No, I think operating it is a short-term benefit, which you can pay for. It's just like the number of years we spend on subsidy. And we have constitutional support for it because the Minister of Petroleum has the power to dictate in Petroleum Act of 1969. And we spent nearly a quarter of Nigerian budget to subsidize petroleum. Right. And what happened? We enjoy it in the short run, but look at the price we have paid. So the short-term benefit in conflict with long-term sustainability is not a justification to dismantle an institution.
A fine place to leave it. Thank you so much for your insights. Wumi Iledare is Emeritus Professor of Petroleum Economics and the Principal Facilitator at the FUPRE Energy Business School.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you.